Could the sting of a tiny honeybee hold the key to fighting one of the deadliest diseases in the world? Breast cancer? At first, it sounds almost unbelievable. Something that most of us think of as painful, irritating, or even dangerous might actually be hiding a secret weapon against cancer. Yet, in recent years, scientists have uncovered something astonishing. Bee venom, and in particular a compound within it called melittin, can destroy aggressive breast cancer cells in less than 1 hour. The discovery has captured the imagination of researchers and the public alike. But how solid is this evidence? What does it actually mean? And could it really change the way we treat cancer in the future? Breast cancer is not just a medical diagnosis. It is one of the greatest health challenges of our time. It is the most common cancer in women worldwide, with millions of new cases every year. Advances in early detection and treatment have saved countless lives, but not all breast cancers respond the same way to current therapies. Some are relatively responsive to hormone treatments or targeted drugs, while others are much more stubborn, aggressive, and deadly. Among these, two stand out: HER2-enriched breast cancer and triple-negative breast cancer. These subtypes often resist conventional therapies, spread rapidly, and recur even after treatment. For patients facing these diagnoses, options are limited and outcomes are often poor. That's why any discovery that offers a new line of attack draws tremendous attention. It turns out that nature, once again, may have something extraordinary to offer. Bee venom is a complex cocktail of proteins, peptides, and enzymes. For centuries, humans have both feared and revered it. In traditional medicine, bee stings were sometimes used in folk therapies for arthritis, inflammation, and chronic pain. But modern science allows us to go deeper, breaking down the venom into its individual components and asking, what exactly does each one do? One molecule in particular stands out: melittin. Melittin is a small peptide, just 26 amino acids long, but its effects are powerful. It accounts for about half of the dry weight of bee venom, and it's the reason why a sting feels so painful. It can insert itself into cell membranes, punching holes, and disrupting their integrity. To most of us, that sounds like a bad thing, and it can be. But from a cancer researcher's perspective, this destructive property is also an opportunity. If melittin can tear open a cancer cell's protective barrier while sparing normal cells, it might become a valuable therapeutic tool. That's exactly the idea behind a groundbreaking study published in 2020 by researchers at the Harry Perkins Institute of Medical Research in Australia. The team tested both whole bee venom and purified melittin against a panel of breast cancer cell lines. What they found was remarkable. Within just 60 minutes, melittin destroyed the membranes of aggressive breast cancer cells. Within 20 minutes, it had already begun shutting down growth signals such as EGFR and HER2, which normally drive uncontrolled cancer proliferation. These results weren't seen to the same degree in normal, healthy breast cells, suggesting a degree of selectivity. That distinction is critical. A compound that indiscriminately kills all cells would be useless, but one that preferentially harms cancer cells while leaving normal tissue largely intact could form the basis of a real therapy. Even more intriguing, the researchers went further. They combined melittin with a common chemotherapy drug called docetaxel. This is a drug often used in breast cancer treatment, but like many chemotherapies, its effects are limited by side effects and resistance. When paired with melittin, however, the results were enhanced. The tumor-suppressing effects were stronger than with chemotherapy alone. This kind of synergy is exactly what scientists hope for: a way to boost existing treatments rather than replace them entirely. The research team didn't stop at lab-grown cells. they moved to animal studies, using mice implanted with breast tumors. Once again, the combination of melittin and chemotherapy significantly slowed tumor growth. While mice are not humans and results don't always translate, this step is vital. It demonstrates that the compound works not just in a petri dish, but in a living organism where things are far more complex. Still, there are important limitations. This research is at the preclinical stage. That means no human patients have yet been treated with melittin, and injecting raw bee venom into a person would be reckless and dangerous. Bee stings can trigger severe pain, swelling, and in some people, deadly allergic reactions known as anaphylaxis. Even in those without allergies, uncontrolled exposure to venom could damage tissues and organs. For melittin to become a safe cancer therapy, scientists must figure out how to deliver it precisely to tumors without harming the rest of the body. This is where the cutting edge of biomedical engineering comes in. Researchers are experimenting with ways to package melittin inside nanoparticles or liposomes, tiny delivery vehicles that can carry drugs directly to tumors. Others are exploring synthetic versions of melittin that retain its cancer-killing power but reduce the risk of side effects. It's a delicate balancing act, harnessing the destructive potential of melittin while keeping patients safe. If that balance can be achieved, it could represent a new class of targeted cancer therapy. The story of bee venom also fits into a broader trend in medicine. For decades, scientists have looked to nature for inspiration. Penicillin came from mold. Taxol, a chemotherapy drug, was originally isolated from the bark of the Pacific yew tree. Venoms from snakes, scorpions, and even cone snails have been studied for their unique biological activities. In each case, what was once considered purely harmful was transformed into a source of healing. Bee venom may be the next chapter in this ongoing story. It's also worth reflecting on what makes this discovery so exciting. Cancer cells are notoriously adaptable. They mutate, evolve, and often find ways around drugs designed to stop them. Melittin's mechanism of action is different. By physically attacking the cell membrane and disrupting essential growth signals, it hits cancer in ways that are difficult for cells to simply outsmart. That's why researchers are hopeful it could be particularly effective against aggressive, treatment-resistant cancers. But the road from discovery to treatment is long. First come more animal studies to refine dosing and delivery. Then, if results are promising, carefully designed human trials would begin, starting with small safety studies. Only after years of rigorous testing could melittin-based therapies be approved for clinical use. For patients and families currently fighting aggressive breast cancer, that wait can feel frustrating. Yet every new discovery, even one still in the lab, is a step forward in a larger journey. Imagine a future where, alongside traditional treatments, doctors can prescribe a carefully engineered version of a natural compound from bee venom. Instead of enduring only the harsh effects of chemotherapy, patients might benefit from a gentler but highly targeted therapy that weakens tumors more effectively. The idea that a sting, something we usually avoid, could someday save lives is both poetic and inspiring. Of course, science demands patience and realism. Not every promising lab finding translates into a viable drug. Many compounds fail in human trials because of toxicity, lack of effectiveness, or unforeseen complications. That's why it's important to view the bee venom story not as a miracle cure today, but as a window into what might be possible tomorrow. So, is bee venom the ultimate answer to breast cancer? The honest answer is not yet, but its potential is undeniable. It shows that nature continues to hold remarkable secrets waiting to be unlocked. And it reminds us that solutions to even the most complex problems can sometimes come from the most unexpected places, from pain to hope. From fear to possibility. The journey of melittin is a powerful reminder of how science transforms what we think we know. Who would have imagined that a creature as small as a bee could contribute to the fight against one of humanity's greatest enemies? Perhaps, in the not-so-distant future, a sting could become a symbol not of danger, but of healing. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, so we can continue uncovering the incredible discoveries shaping our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes the smallest creatures carry the biggest answers.